James Baek here. Welcome back to another episode of VGC 2019 Baek Battles. Today is the last episode. We're going to be using this Reshiram team with Reshiram, Tapu Lele, Groudon, Venusaur, Scrafty, and Stakataka. If you haven't checked out the previous episodes, I highly recommend you go checking them out. As always, there are some pretty good episodes, and if you do want to see a potential QR code of this team and you enjoy these videos, be sure to hit that like button down below, because if we do hit that 175 likes for this video and all the other videos we use this Reshiram team, within 2 weeks of this episode being uploaded, which I believe is the final episode, we will have a QR code of this team on the global link available. So let's get started and play some games. Reshiram was pretty interesting overall. I kind of enjoyed using Reshiram. I hope this is the final episode. I hope I didn't miscount it. I might have miscounted it. Did I miscount it? I can't remember. We got Ice Bullet 6064 from Italy. I can't remember what episode number this is, but yeah, we got a Tapu Lele, Amoonguss, Lunala, Incineroar, Kartana, and Kyogre. Okay, so I'm really just trying to remember if this is the final episode or not. So Lunala is of course very scary in this matchup. I don't have good answers to Lunala. I also don't really have that many good answers to Tapu Lele. I think overall I really do like Reshiram here with Groudon. I also like my Scrafty a lot, and I don't know if I really like Stakataka. It really doesn't do too much other than maybe get Trick Room up. So I'm thinking Reshiram, Groudon, Venusaur, Scrafty might be enough for the job, I want to say. Let me think. I definitely want Reshiram. I'm just curious on if this is a Tailwind, a Trick Room, or potentially both on this team, which is super scary to deal with as well. I like... What do I like as a lead? I don't really like leading my Scrafty here because Lele could be a very potential lead. I think I like Reshiram plus Venusaur as a lead because I think it gives me the most options with Scrafty and Groudon in the back. I will try it out here. Of course, it could be something like an Incineroar Lunala lead, which is super scary to deal with. I don't think my opponents bring Amoonguss, though, because of the fact that I just don't think Amoonguss does too much against me, especially because I do have the Sun, I do have my Fire type in Reshiram to do a lot of damage. So I'm not sure if he would really bring Amoonguss here, especially since it would go down to a Sun boosted attack. But we'll see what my opponent decides to bring here. We will lead our Reshiram plus Venusaur against my opponent Lunala and Incineroar. Okay, so it is kind of what I expected as a lead here. So not the best, not the worst. I could attempt to go for a Sleep Out if I really want to. I think the best play for me is just to go out in a Scrafty right here and protect with Reshiram. I think that is the best play. I don't want to take a fake out Moongeist Beam. I also don't want to take a or a Z-move potentially. I also don't want to take a fake out Psyshock and Venusaur, so I'm in a kind of a risky spot. I'm going to try to reposition for a decent placement, as we will retreat our Venusaur into our Scrafty here and get that Intimidate off into the Incineroar, which is nice. The problem is if you do get Tailwind up, it is kind of frustrating for me because of the fact you could Tailwind and then you could probably double up the Reshiram for a knockout, potentially. Let's see what my opponent does. It's going to be a fake out. It's going to be tarring down to Venusaur, so no Sleep Powder, looks like. And it's just a Tailwind going up. Okay. I probably want my own Tailwind up, but how much does that benefit me is always the question. I also didn't get to confirm if it was Timid Lunala, which is definitely unfortunate for me. I don't feel like I need Tailwind up immediately. I could match Tailwinds potentially, but really, if I can get rid of the Lunala, that would be amazing for me, I think. So I think I'm going to attempt just to go for a Heat Wave and knock off. If the Lunala doesn't carry Protect, I'm able to get rid of it, which is amazing for me. We're going to see a Z-move come out, though. It is going to be turning down my Reshiram. I feel like Reshiram should have just Natural Bulk to live the Z-move. I don't know about a double up. Maybe after the Intimidate. The reason I didn't go for Fake Out and Incineroar is because the Tapu Lele was a very, very potential option just to switch in and block that fake out, and I would have been in a pretty bad position. But either way, this is probably a bad position as well, as my Reshiram's going to take a lot of damage. I might not be able to get Tailwind up in this game, but I think once my opponent's Tailwind expires, it's fine. I guess I am a little bit worried about the Kartana, actually, because if my opponent did bring Kartana, I'm not in a good position after this. So, we will see the Z move. Almost knock out Reshiram. It doesn't knock out Reshiram. A U-turn coming out, but that's not going to knock out Reshiram either. But Tarius is crafty, so someone's come in. Someone's going to be take a heat wave, probably the Kyogre, I would imagine, to lower my damage output. But it could be an aggressive Lele if you predict like a Tailwind right here. But it's just the Kartana coming out. Oh, that's not what wants to come out here. Maybe my opponent expected me to go for Tailwind. I missed a Lunala, which is super unfortunate for me. Because that would have probably been a potential double knockout since my Scrafty wasn't intimidated. I would have broke the Shao Shield. Oh, man. That was such a good position for me, too. It would have been close if I knocked out Lunala, but you get the point. Like, I would have had so much pressure. I would have put it in Venusaur Sludge Bomb range, which would have also been pretty huge. Now I'm in an awkward spot. I'm in an awkward spot. I guess I can play a bit defensively here, but that's not what you want exactly from... That's not exactly what you want to see if you're in my shoes, so... Alright. At least we got rid of Kartana, which is super nice. My opponent risked it all there, and yeah, that definitely wasn't the play for my opponent. We will just protect our Reshiram here. I didn't even anticipate the Kartana coming in. I just wanted to break the Shao Shield and knock out Lunala immediately. We'll go for the knockoff attempt into the Lunala, I guess, and just go for a protect with our Reshiram, because I think keeping Reshiram alive just to help ensure this Weather War is nice. Because we're gonna see the Kyogre come in. We don't know what kind of Kyogre this is. We could assume it's a Mystic Water variant. It could be a Choice Scarf variant. Could be a Double Z on this team, but I kind of doubt it since the Lunala really looks firing off the Z move on this team. So we'll see. Probably a fake out. It's actually a knockoff into Scrafty. So good play for my opponent. You're trying to get rid of Scrafty for your Lunala to win the game, as we will get a knockoff and we get rid of that Choice Scarf. So it is Choice Scarf Kyogre. Maybe not too bad of a position, but this definitely can get ugly real fast. I kind of want to double switch. Like, I want to switch Reshiram out into Venusaur, and I want to go into Groudon right here. The problem with that is it's kind of risky no matter what I do, because it's probably a Flare Blitz plus Water Spout coming into the Groudon slot. So I gotta think about this carefully. I think going Venusaur for the Reshiram slot is fine. And I don't think I can afford to lose Scrafty, because I think Scrafty is definitely more valuable. I think I'd rather take the odds of me living a Origin Pulse or Water Spout into a Sun Boosted Flare Blitz for my Scrafty slot, because I think my opponent's trying to pin me down, which is a pretty good position for my opponent. I really like the position he got himself or herself into with this Water Spout or Origin Pulse into the Scrafty slot and the Flare Blitz, because if Groudon comes in to weaken the power, you're still going to do a lot of damage. We're going to see that Water Spout come out into my opponent. Oh, that really didn't do as much as I was thinking, actually. So, Flare Blitz is going to come out. Should be targeting out, and yep. That's already down the right slot. Flare Blitz is going to come out. Nice. No burn, which is good. And now I can go for a Grass Knot and a Kyogre. Potentially pick up the knockout. If I expect Lunala to come in, I could just go out and... I could actually probably just expect Lunala. The thing is, I could Grass Knot here. Oh, Tailwind's up for my opponent. So I could probably just... Sludge Bomb, actually, the Incineroar and Precipice Blades. But that would mean Lunala got a free switch in. I don't think Precipice Blades knocks out Incineroar is the one problem. I think it's just still better for me to go for Precipice Blades right here into the... Oh, as the match is going to be forfeited. I thought my opponent had a chance. I think you had to switch out Kyogre into Lunala because you kind of needed the Kyogre because it was your best damage output against my Scrafty. You sack your Incineroar right there to the Precipice Blades, and I Sludge Bomb as well just to guarantee it. I think Lunala does survive the Precipice Blades, and also the fact that you could also just get in Lunala then again with Kyogre. It means you probably just get a free Origin Pulse plus Tailwind, and even if I like switch out and sack my Reshiram, which is probably what I was thinking, like I'd still have to the Lunala would have to be if the Luna's faster than the Venusaur, then I'm in a problem because I can't exactly just go for the Grass Knot into the Kyogre. I guess what's beneficial there is as long as I get Groudon in a safe position, like my opponent has to double up the Groudon in order to knock it out because even a crit Ocean Pulse wouldn't be able to knock me out at that rate. So I guess there were some positives there. And yeah, we were just able to get a good position. I think the Heat Wave, I think my opponent just, it caught my opponent off guard. My opponent was not expecting the Heat Wave. But I saw no reason not to just take advantage of a position where I could potentially just knock out the Lunala and get rid of the speed control that my opponent had for the rest of the game. Because I didn't absolutely have to set up Tailwind, because even if I got Tailwind up, I feel like I would still be slower than anything my opponent had in the back. Because, like my opponent, if my opponent's going on a Tailwind offensive mode, you're probably having fast Pokemon. And since I didn't really bring the fastest Pokemon, other than maybe Venusaur and the Sun, and Reshiram, which were my two fastest Pokemon, and even then, my opponent had a Kartana, had a Scarf Kyogre, and a Lunala, which generally tend to be max speed. I felt like even if I got Tailwind up, it didn't really benefit me. Maybe it benefited Venusaur if I got the Sun up, so Venusaur would be guaranteed the fastest thing, but it wouldn't exactly have been the greatest Pokemon there because of the fact that, you know, it can't really touch the Incineroar, it can't touch the Lunala. It could go for inaccurate Sleep Pass, but that's not exactly reliable. But we'll be right back with the second game of today's episode once I restart my 3DS, because this happens every time. Alright, got QS from the United States, Maryland. I believe I know this guy actually, so if I... No item Smeargle. And item Smeargle. I believe our opponent here, he ended up getting second at the Roanoke Regional Championship back in, well, the 2018 season. So yeah, it should be a pretty fun game. No item on Smeargle really helps me out, actually. Really does. I think I could go the top of the Lele plus Reshiram mode with the Groudon in the back. And the question is, do I want to bring Venusaur or do I want to bring Stakataka? The Stakataka is actually pretty good. Like, I've been looking at Stakataka against these kinds of team variants, and like Stakataka usually does really well if I'm just able to get rid of the Kyogre. But since I don't think my opponent would really lead with the Kyogre right off the bat, could be something to note. I think I'm going to lead Lele plus Reshiram, Groudon, Venusaur. What I really have to be worried about with these teams is the fact that it could be Rain Dance on Tornadus. And Rain Dance on Tornadus is super scary when I'm facing these teams, because, like, if you're facing Groudon, you switch into Groudon, Rain Dance comes out, it is Scarf Kyogre, the Water Spout basically obliterates you. So that's something I have to be really cautious about. But otherwise, I think we should still have a fine matchup. I also really want to get rid of Tornadus right away because of, one, that Rain Dance option, like I mentioned before, and two, it's the biggest threat to probably my Venusaur. I have to also be really scared if my opponent brings Kartana, because Kartana is a very likely option against my team with the Stakataka involved. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. Definitely some Pokemon that I am super scared about. I believe it should be a Focus Sash on that Smeargle, so it's going to be hard for my opponent if my opponent brings that Smeargle without that Focus Sash intact. We will bring out the Tapu Lele plus the Reshiram here against the opponent's Smeargle Kartana. Okay. So basically, I have an amazing position here. You can't fake out. I get to click Heat Wave. Yeah, this is an amazing spot. I definitely want to save my Tapu Lele, or do I want to just go for the Magic Room right away? Because I have options too. It might not be Sash Smeargle, because it could be Sash on a Tornadus, but I'm not exactly too sure. I think Magic Room is okay here, because I could just Magic Room, or I could Sunny Day and just Heat Wave, but I kind of want to prevent Xerneas from setting up in the back. So there are a lot of things I could do. I'm thinking Magic Room plus Heat Wave might be the play, but the problem is if my Reshiram goes to sleep right here, because if Heat Wave's not enough, that is a little bit problematic. I think I'll go for the Magic Room though anyway, and just go for the Heat Wave. Yeah, even if the Xerneas comes in, it can't set up Geomancy, which is pretty big, so I think that's fine. We're going to see the Follow Me, which is completely okay by me, as I will be able to get this Magic Room up. And this gets rid of any, you know, potential Sash if it's on the Kartana, which is probably unlikely, but it could be on the Kartana. But we're going to see the Smart Strike come out on the top of Lele, so that's fine, as, you know, we'll trade here. Well, hopefully we'll trade, and I'll be able to get a Heat Wave off and just knock out the Kartana and get a good amount of damage in the Smeargle. As Beast Boost is going to activate, get a attack boost, and please Nice, we hit the heat waves. It's always nerve-wracking to hit moves with this team. Yeah, we don't knock out the Smeargle, which is like the one problem thing, but not a bad trade, as I say, because even though we got rid of our Lele, we prevent the Xerneas from setting up in the back, which is super huge for this team. So we'll go on into Venusaur here because we want to save Groudon for later, because we do have that Groudon option. And yeah, even if Kyogre comes in, I could probably just draw off a Heat Wave and a Grass Knot right here. And if it's Xerneas in the back, I can just go for like, I could go for multiple things. I could just Sludge Bomb Tailwind, and I don't think there's any drawback to that play. But of course, there is the fact that Venusaur is slower than the Smeargle, so that probably wouldn't work out well for me. So probably just go for the Sludge Bomb and Heat Wave right here is a safe play. I guess you could have Wide Guard on Smeargle, but it would be alright because you have to use a turn Wide Guarding. So I think that's alright for me. We'll Sludge Bomb here, and we will just go for the Heat Wave here into the Smeargle, because I do want that extra damage if I can into Xerneas, and Xerneas can't set up Geomancy, which is nice. I don't have a Focus Sash on Venusaur, but I feel like with Kyogre and Xerneas as the last two Pokemon on my opponent's team, this Xerneas revealed itself, so probably Kyogre in the back, I would imagine, unless he brought Tornadus in, which is probably not the best for my opponent. We will, because you would have to go for Blind Hurricanes here, or Raw Hurricanes and 50% in the Sun. We're just going to see a Dazzling Gleam, actually. I don't know. Does Dazzling Gleam and a Moonblast knock me out? Probably. Heat Wave. This. Oh, that's unfortunate for me. Well, even if I click Blue Flare, I guess it didn't matter, but that's a little bit unfortunate. Oh well. That's still fine for me, because even if Kyogre comes out, one, we get to confirm if it's probably a Scarf variant right away. Two, yeah, I think this is still fine regardless, because I can go Groudon and just protect my Venusaur, and next turn I could go for the Grass Knot attempt into the Kyogre. Problem is, I mean, there are a few problems with this play. One, I'm not going to be able to get my berry guarantee. Two, I don't know this Kyogre is Scarf, because you don't know if it's Choice Scarf or not. If it is Choice Scarf, I feel pretty good about my position. If it's a Z move, it's a little bit difficult, but we should still be able to manage just fine. If I just hit one of the Heat Waves, I would be a bit more comfortable, because even if I just got the Heat Wave damage on the Xerneas, like, that damage could have been pretty important for later in the game, where Sludge Bomb might have been able to pick up the knockout if it was a frail variant, and even if it didn't, maybe it, like, put it super low to where Groudon guaranteed the knockout. So yeah, let's see here. As we'll protect our Venusaur, we're getting Groudon. The sun is up. We might have to go for Sleep Powders. We're gonna see the Moonblast into Venusaur and probably a Water Spout right here. Yeah, that's fine. So it's not Scarf Kyogre, it looks like, which is good for me. Or is it potentially? I mean, the damage looks like it's max special attack. I mean, I don't see a reason not to Grass Knot here. And actually, what I really want to do is Rock Tomb. If the Kyogre has Protect, I might go for it here. But what I really want is a Rock Tomb in the Xerneas. Because if I can get a Rock Tomb in the Xerneas, I basically put the Xerneas slower than my Reshiram. And if Kyogre isn't Scarf, which we just saw, the fact that I'm going to be able to get a Blue Flare in the Sun and just knock out the Xerneas once my Reshiram comes back in is super huge, I think. And I don't really need to knock on Kyogre, and it could also be a Berry Kyogre, so I feel like that this is my best play possible. I could lose both my Pokemon. No, I can't lose both my Pokemon here, but I could lose Groudon here, which would be fine. Like, I don't think it's necessary. And yeah, the Kyogre protects, which is excellent for me. That is a good position for me. So, we'll Grass Knot into the Kyogre. We'll Rock Tomb the Xerneas as it goes for a Moonblast into my Groudon, which is fine. I could also protect here and get my berry back, which is nice, as we will get a Rock Tomb off into the Xerneas. Nice. And we can go for a Grass Knot here into the Kyogre and a... probably just a Protect, because we could just get our Figgy Berry back, and my opponent can't knock out Venusaur, so we'll go for that Grass Knot on a Kyogre, since it should be a guaranteed 2 KO regardless. And then, even then, I could just go for like a Sludge Bomb into a Precipice Blades into the Xerneas. Actually, it might have been better just to let Groudon go down, so I could got a free switch and a Reshiram here. Because if I got a free switch and a Reshiram here, I would have been able to just go for the Z move in the Xerneas and a Grass on a Kyogre, and I would have actually been in a better spot, I think. I think it would have been better actually to do that play, because Xerneas could potentially get a Geomancy up. if I'm careless. So we'll see. Although Kyogre's not really big threat, if it's going for Water Spout and doesn't have any other move that can really affect me, I think I'm still in a fine position regardless. So let's see here. Xerneas protects, which is okay too. As I'm targeting down the Kyogre here, lowering that power of that Water Spout. Almost picks up the knockout. Scald going to come out into the Venusaur. Okay. In the sun really doesn't do anything, so maybe I should just focus down the Xerneas. As my opponent does get the burn, I think that's fine. Magic Room does wear out, so I can get my berry back. And since Xerneas protected, I can just double up the Xerneas. Also with the Rock Tomb's super huge because Sludge Bomb will now be I'll still be faster than Xerneas if it Geomancy, so that's pretty big as well. Don't think. Is it necessary to click Rock Tomb? Because I feel like Sludge Bomb plus Rock Tomb would knock out to Xerneas anyway, and the extra speed actually doesn't really help me at all. And if I could knock out the Kyogre, I think that's also a beneficial position. So I'll just go for the Sludge Bomb and Precipice Blades. Because as long as I hit one, I think I should be fine for the rest of this game. So my opponent doesn't protect Kyogre, so I just need to hit 1 out of 2 Precipice Blades, basically. It's actually Rock Tomb would have been enough. So we're going to see the Z move come out. Oh, it's Normalium Z from the Kyogre. But this works out beautifully for me, actually. Even if you restore your HP, that's fine. Because you're Z-psyching up, but since I Rock Tomb the Xerneas, this is actually pretty beneficial. Because now you have the speed drop because you didn't set up Geomancy yet, which is amazing for me. As I'm going to be able to knock out the Xerneas, and I do hit the Kyogre, which is nice. So we're going to be able to pick up that win right there. That Rock Tomb. I didn't know if it was Z-psych up, but it was a thought that like crossed my mind. I didn't actually think my opponent was that case, but it ended up being that case. We ended up just picking up the win. And the Kyogre, look at it, it's -1 speed. Alright, yep, that's game. Venusaur just cleans up the game now. Like, I can switch. There are so many things I can do. My opponent can't win as the match is going to be forfeit. We do take a second win for today's episode, which is really nice. Awesome. So I think overall just being able to... that Rock Tomb I think was nice. I think I didn't expect Sludge Bomb to do so much. So I thought it was a bulkier Xerneas, so I actually thought Sludge Bomb and the Rock Tomb would have been enough, but it looked like it would have been just in case. But I guess it came down to did I hit a move, and if it wasn't the Psych Up Kyogre, if I just hit 1 Precipice Blades, like I would have won the game regardless. So felt like I was okay in that position to click Precipice Blades right there, because as long as I hit 1, that's my mindset. I was able to win. So I think what's really nice is that Magic Room again, just putting in so much work, even if it was Sash Smeargle. Getting rid of that potential Sash would have been great, as well as if it was Sash on the Cortana. I could have also went for, yeah. I could have also switched into Groudon and went for Heat Wave, but the problem with that play is, like I was thinking about doing that turn 1, but that just puts myself in a terrible position because you get a double free switch in a Xerneas plus Kyogre, and you get the Geomancy, and in that position, you could probably just Psych Up. Again, with the communication error, so yeah, we'll be right back. This is getting really annoying. Restarting my 3DS, I ended up looking at my Twitter messages, and like there's a request that I don't put a battle up. I said this before, and I'm going to say this again, and I'm going to also put it in my description from now on, so I can make it clear. If you play on Battle Spot, and if I potentially play you, there is a good chance that it is me recording, and if I do record that episode, and you ask me to put not upload the video, I'm still going to be uploading the video anyway. Battle Spot is... basically, if you play on Battle Spot, you are taking the risk that you're encountering streamers, other YouTubers, not just myself. And I feel like if you should know that risk already. So I feel like it's free domain, and also the fact that I don't have time to record these videos as much. I'm preparing for Australia actually coming up. I will be seeing people in Melbourne for internets. Won't be having as much time to record as videos. So when I do have the time to record, it's very limited. So we'll be uploading videos. Yeah, so that's basically it. I'll also put in my description from now on. But okay, we got a Kyogre Ho team with Cortana, Incineroar, Raichu, Ludicolo. Ho was a weird match. No, Ho is a fine match. We have Groudon. I want to go Reshiram here with Lele, I think, which is probably my most solid option here. Actually, do I even like Lele? I kind of even don't like Lele. I don't like Lele, actually. I like Reshiram plus Scrafty, actually, a lot. Yeah, I like Reshiram Scrafty a lot with Groudon and Venusaur in the back. The reason I don't really like Lele that much against my opponent's team is, like, It does damage, but if it's against a Ludicolo Kyogre team, I would switch into Groudon anyway for the Sun, since I can't go for the Sunday immediately. Magic Room doesn't exactly seem too helpful, and yes, while Lele can Revenge KO and do a good amount of damage, I feel like Scrafty provides a lot more with the Intimidates and Fake Out support, so we'll see how this goes. We're going to see the Incineroar plus the Hull right away against my Scrafty and Reshiram. So unfortunately, the part about this double fire combination is that I can't exactly break through it with my Reshiram, and the Hull is threatening with Brave Bird, which is super scary as well. Although Lele wouldn't exactly like this position either, at least it could do some decent damage, I guess. I could go for a knockoff into the Ho-Oh, get rid of whatever item it's potentially carrying. Did we see Coco or anything? No, so it's not a seed variant most likely. If I can get rid of Ho, that's super nice, but I feel like I have to get rid of everything around the Ho. Ho-Oh's not gonna be doing too much damage to my team regardless. So I think I'll just attempt to go for a Tailwind, and I think I'm gonna knock off the berry on the Incineroar, because knock off a berry would be super clutch, as we are going to get a Tailwind up, which is really nice. Let's see if my opponent matches a Tailwind, which would be fine as well. Let's go straight for the Brave Bird. So it's -1 Brave Bird, shouldn't knock out my Scrafty, might even activate berry actually. Let's see. Yeah, that's a lot of damage though, as Ho will take some recoil. We will be able to eat our 50% berry, but that's a lot of damage that I just took with my Scrafty, but that's fine. A Snarl actually gonna come out. Ooh, that's not good. That's not good. Okay. I'll be able to get a knockoff into the Incineroar, get rid of its berry. Yeah, I also don't know where the Z move is on this team, so that's also a problem. Maybe I should have brought Lele instead. Lele probably could have 2-hit knocked out the Ho, and there's not much my opponent could do about it. Although there was a Snarl, so it might not have been the greatest option. Like, this is actually really annoying. Double fire is actually really annoying for my team. I should have brought Stack Attacker. I definitely could have gone Stack Attacking into my opponent's team, which is the disappointing part about my decision too. Guess I'll go for the Blue Flare and a low kick. I don't really mind if Scrafty goes down. We're probably going to see Tailwind from the Ho anyway. I kind of want to try to just weaken everything I can, because if I can weaken this Incineroar, it's not a bad spot for me, because, you know, I'd be able to potentially do really well with my Venusaur in the back, as Tailwind is going to come out from the Ho, and we're probably going to see what Flare Blitz come out from the Incineroar, or a U-turn. Yeah, it's a U-turn, which is why I was fine with this play as well. So my opponent got really good board positioning so far, but I feel like we're still okay in the spot we are in. Let's see what my opponent decides to bring out. Could be that Kyogre, which it is going to be the Kyogre, which is fine, I think. It really depends on how fast this Ho is, though. Really depends on how fast this Ho is. I actually really regret not bringing the Lele, but I guess we could go the Groudon for the Reshiram right here. And because I don't want to switch in for the Scrafty slot if it's a Sacred Fire plus Water Spout coming out, because that would put me in a really awkward spot. I think I'm going to go for the knockoff into the Kyogre. Kyogre could definitely switch out. That'd be a really good play on my opponent's part, actually, because if you switch out the Kyogre, you're able to get into a good position where you can force my Groudon out immediately, unless I decide I want to Rock Tomb. We're gonna see the Water Spout come out. Let's see what kind of damage it does to my team. As it looks like max special attack, Sacred Fire gonna come out. Does target down my Scrafty slot. Yeah, exactly why I didn't want to switch in Groudon for that slot. I might have been able to activate my berry, but at the risk of being burned. No. So we're gonna bring out our Venusaur here, and there are a few things I could do, which is positive and negative in this situation. One positive is that I can go for a Rock Tomb in a Ho-Oh, but I probably don't knock out the Ho-Oh immediately. So I could double up the Ho-Oh, but the problem is if I do that, Incineroar is probably coming in for the Kyogre slot, and then there's a double into the Actually, if I'm able to get rid, I have to bank on this being no speed Ho, don't I? Maybe I could sleep powder Ho, but it could be Goggles. By attacking Incineroar, Kyogre gets a free switch in next to Ho. That's not a deal for me. I think I'm just gonna go for the attack in a Ho, because Incineroar should be coming in for my opponent, or Cortana, which is not the Pokemon I expected. So Rock Tomb probably could have just got to knockout. But this is still a really bad spot for me, as we do get Sludge Bomb off. We do get a poison, but it doesn't really matter if we connect our Rock Tomb. It is faster too. A Sacred Fire's in a Groudon. Oh, please don't burn. Okay, no burn it looks like. We are able to get our Airy back. Okay. Not a bad spot. What I thought was potentially really bad is not that bad of a spot anymore. Okay, we knock out the Ho-Oh, which is amazing for me because getting rid of the Ho-Oh means no more Tailwind for my opponent's side of the field afterward. The problem is the Kyogre is going to come out, and I think it comes down to does Water Spout and a Smart Strike knock out Venusaur, and I think it really just depends on how much attack investment this Kartana has. Because I don't think I can really afford to, I think I have to sack Groudon here. Yeah, I had to side Groudon. I don't think Groudon's worth keeping in this game because I kind of need the free switch into Reshiram for the game plan to work. What I'm hoping I can do is get a Grass Knot on the Kyogre. If it goes for the Water Spout, get in Reshiram, and then I could Tailwind up. And that's kind of hope I got to do. I can't really switch out Groudon because I need Reshiram as healthy as possible to deal with the Kartana. So we'll go for the Grass Knot here and attempt it because we can't really afford to protect our Groudon on this spot. Water Spout does way too much damage to Venusaur. What? It always did like that much? Oh, it's a knockoff. I don't think we survive anyway. Yeah, so that's good. Game. Yeah, that was a really tough spot for me. I really couldn't do much in that situation. Really well played to my opponent. I think I brought the wrong Pokemon. I think I could have also won with these Pokemon, but it would have been super tough for me. I would have probably had to... It would have been super tough regardless. Because I'm trying to think, what are positions where I could have changed a bit of momentum? Maybe not going for Tailwind immediately and just going for the Blue Flare instead. With a knockoff might have been better because the Incineroar might have been lower and I could have always Tailwinded up the following turn. So yeah. There really isn't much we can do. Good game to my opponent. I think Stack Attacker would have been great here though. If I went to Stack Attacker mode, I feel like I had a better shot against my opponent because the double fire mode, I never thought about it as a lead, but it was just super annoying for my team to deal with. I couldn't exactly get it into a position where I could damage them. And if I get Groudon in, right, then I'm in a bad spot against Kyogre, which is always like the problem with these Groudon teams. I feel like if you don't have a good switch in to Kyogre other than trying to weaken it with your Sun boosted Water Spout. So that's always a thing that's annoying with these teams. But yeah, I think if I were to play that team again, I think changing it to Stack Attacker mode, like Stack Attacker, Groudon, Reshiram, plus Scrafty, most likely would have been able to do a lot of work against my opponent's team. So it's definitely something I think I want to try next time if I face like a similar build to that whole team. But really well played to my opponent. And yeah, that's going to be it for today's episode. I hope everyone enjoyed today's episode of VGC 2019 Baek Battles. If you did enjoy it, please leave a like down below. It shows your support. As well as you can check out the rest of my stuff down below in the description, such as my social media, the side series on my channel, and all that other good stuff. And yeah, if you do want to go that extra mile, there is my Patreon page linked down below in the description. Otherwise, thank you all for tuning in. Have a great day, people. Until we battle again, I'll catch y'all later.